I am. I'm going on about a 24-mile ride. And I'm recording it for YouTube. Been a while since I've recorded anything for YouTube. Kind of getting back into the swing of it. I actually brought 3 cameras with me today. I've got the GoPro 11 on my chest, and the way I have that set up is I added a aftermarket side door to the GoPro that has a little trap door built into the bottom so that I can feed a USB-C charging cable into it, and the chest rig that I'm wearing that holds the GoPro also mounts a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. So that combined with the 1720 milliamp hour battery in the GoPro gives me about, if you assume that at 5K 30 with assume that on the settings that I run my GoPro, so 5K 30 with darn, why am I drawing a blank? What is it called? The anti-shake, anyway. Bike brain. So if you So with 1720 in the camera and 10,000 below it and plugged in, that gives me about, it's over 6x the normal battery capacity. And so it basically means I can record for about 8.5 hours. The GoPro has a 256 gig card in it, which is also good for about 8 hours. So what I found is that that's generally enough for me to be able to record a 100 plus mile ride, which is kind of the extent of my capability on this, even with a third battery. I mean, I can get to about 120 or so, but my longest ride yet was on RSVP last year, 2024. That was the ride from Seattle to Vancouver. So day one from UW in Seattle to Bellingham was, you know what, I'm gonna, just because of the traffic, I'm gonna do sort of a weird cross here. I'm gonna go right to go left, which is sort of a Lightning McQueen reference, but anyway, it'll be easier to cross by coming up here. So RSVP last year was 111 miles from UW in Seattle to Bellingham. So that's the longest I've done so far. And ironically, I was only able to record about the first 75 minutes of that because the USB-C cable that plugs into the extra battery and then into the GoPro failed. So basically the GoPro only had its onboard battery. That was it. So now I've learned to test for that before I start to make sure that I actually see the little charging icon. And this year I'm doing STP, which is the Seattle to Portland ride, and that also starts at UW in Seattle. And while you can do that in one day, I'm not sure I'm really up for that, and I don't have enough battery power for that, so I'm gonna stop south of Chehalis in a place called Napomine at Bethel Church and stay there for the night and recharge my batteries. Oh, he's got a dog. Alright, what's he gonna do? Pick our sides. There we go. Hi. So this is the Tolt pipeline trail, and that section of exposed pipe right there, which is about, geez, maybe 5 feet in diameter. That is the Tolt pipeline. That brings water from the Tolt reservoir, which is probably, oh, I don't know, another maybe 7 or 8 miles east of here. That brings that water into Seattle, and that pipeline provides about 1/3 of Seattle's daily fresh drinking water. And this trail is the public utility right-of-way, so that they can maintain the pipeline, but they open it up to hikers and bikers and horses and whatnot. So it's a really lovely resource for us. And the reservoir itself is very much off limits. Can't really get there unless you're meant to be there, which totally makes sense because you don't want anybody messing with the drinking water. So for today, I brought a couple extra cameras, and I think I'm going to stop and grab one of those, just as an experiment here. So I'm just kind of playing around today for the YouTube channel. this recording, and let's just see what we can do. Let's see how practical or awkward this is. So I can, and I'll probably use the audio from the GoPro, because this camera that's in front of me, looking at me right now, it's called a what is it called? A Cosa Brave 7. It's some cheesy GoPro knockoff that I bought thinking that I was gonna save a few bucks, and just ended up buying a GoPro anyway, because this one's not that great. But you know, it's a secondary camera. We're just kind of getting some B-roll right now. Let's just turn this off for now. And, alright, I don't want to look like a total idiot out here. Well, it's called the Cosa Brave 7. And it's kind of a piece of shit. I'm gonna try the Insta 360 cam. I had to replace one of the lens covers on this because last time I used this, I had it attached to the bike in the rear, and it was slowly dropping down, and then it eventually got to where it was like basically dragging on the ground. I didn't even realize it. So let's see. I'm curious if it'll understand my voice commands while I'm riding, with riding voices. Start recording. Wow, that sounded like it took a snapshot. Start recording. Start recording. Hello. Okie dokie. Yep. Start recording. Alright, so voice commands are not that great. Start recording. Alright, well, whatever. Oh, the things we do for YouTube. Go left, clear the right, and we cross. Today I'm doing the reverse of my normal route. Normally I would go counterclockwise, but today I'm going clockwise on my big loop. People ahead, so I'm going to put this away. Switching around the cameras and crap really breaks up the ride. To come up with a better system. And we got horses. Hi. Aren't they cute? Hi. Huh. Those little carriages fit right through these gates. That's cool. Where they started from. Seriously doubt they came up this hill, because this hill is a freaking killer. Oh, I see an adventure van down there. People park that close to the frickin' gate. Temperature is nice. It's not too hot. Traffic seems to be fairly light. Lovely spring afternoon in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, car coming behind us. Slow, wide pass. I appreciate that. I swear, some people, they get so close and they just like gun it when they get right next to me, and that engine roars, and it's fucking terrifying sometimes. interesting. You do the same route over and over again, and then you do it going the opposite direction, and you see all sorts of stuff that you didn't see normally. It's nice to mix it up like that. Alright, up the coming the other direction, this hill is shorter and steeper on the other side. So I'll have sort of a steep and fast descent into Carnation. So this ends up being about a 24-mile loop, and there's a new smoothie place that opened up in Carnation, a smoothie shack. And when I go counterclockwise, if I stop there, I'm at about 10.5 miles, and so I've got another 14 to go. On this one, I should be stopping there around 14, with only 10 to go. And most of that 10 will be flat. Whereas in the other direction, I get my smoothie, feeling great, and then I immediately have to go up that steep, short hill. And sometimes stomach doesn't feel great doing that. So looking forward to having a flat ride along the Snoqualmie Valley Trail after getting my smoothie. Also kind of curious if the direction I go makes any difference in terms of the average battery power used. So I've done it so many times coming the other direction, and I've got a really good idea of what that looks like. So it'll just be interesting, just from a geek perspective, to see if the change in the hill profiles, basically reversing them, makes any difference in terms of battery power use, because it's same elevation, same distance, it's just the slopes change. So it's like, for example, this long uphill, which is not particularly steep. I'm obviously pedaling the whole way because I'm going uphill. When I do this in the opposite direction, there's some pedaling, but I coast for a good 1.5 miles of it because it's downhill. So yeah, just be curious to see how it differs. Julie Marie, if you're watching this, I'm doing this just for you. I wanted you to be able to see all this lush green in the Pacific Northwest. Ooh, somebody's trash can got knocked over. That is no bueno. I wonder if the bears or the coyotes did that. Jesus. Fuck. See, that guy was trying to pass on a double line, on a hill, on a curve, didn't see the other car coming, and so he had to squeeze me over to the right. God forbid he should ever consider just slowing down for a moment. Everybody's in a hurry. This is the Lake Joy community that I'm coming up to. There's a nice lake up here, coincidentally enough, called Lake Joy. A lot of houses built on the lake. In fact, I don't even know that the lake has any public access. I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It's like, I think the only way you get access to the lake is by owning a house on it or knowing someone who does. Welcome to Lake Joy. So, in case it's hard to tell, the lake is right over there. There's a lot of trees and there's houses. I'll maybe try to turn toward it, see if we can't get a quick view of it. There are some nice houses up here now. Sort of see it through the trees there. Every house on the lake has their own dock. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Well, okay. I think the people who live here are in the Carnation zip code, even though all of this is unincorporated King County. homes on the lake. Short and steep downhill. To have a lake house. Can't really see much through there. Hi. Here's a new house going in right there. Cool. Here's our turn. We're going gravel for a few miles. Shift a little. So this area we're going into is known as the Tolt Highlands. Tolt is the historic name of the town of Carnation. My understanding is that the town renamed itself to Carnation because for decades the big employer in the area was Nestle, that ran this huge dairy farm just outside of town. And of course Carnation, well still is a very famous brand for Nestle. And so because Nestle employed so many people in the town, so many people got their livelihood from it, it is my understanding that they renamed the town Carnation in honor of that. But it was originally known as Tolt, and so there's a lot of references to Tolt. So like there's the Tolt River, this area here is Tolt Highlands, there's Tolt Road, there's Tolt Elementary. So, you know, while they paid homage to the source of their prosperity, they did not abandon their roots or their history. And this area up here, I believe, was all Weyerhaeuser timberland for a long time. So Weyerhaeuser built these roads and logged the timber. And so everything you see here, this is maybe second or even third growth after the initial cutting. Oh boy, we're gonna get covered in dust. Well, not too bad. Yeah, I appreciate that he slowed down. Not too bad. In fact, my house in Duvall is on land that was originally deeded to Weyerhaeuser. So they just haven't gotten around to paving these roads yet. There's actually quite a few people that live up here. And you'll see a lot of these like forest gates, but they're all permanently opened just because, you know, obviously there's no active logging up here anymore. People live here now. driveway, big house back there. We're remote enough that there is no cell service here, because the first time I came out here, I turned down Foxglove Way, this gravel road right here, but I had no idea where I was going because maps on my phone just could not get me signal. But, I know my way around now. Driveway. Oh, they got a gate. Big house back there. Oh, they got solar panels and everything. Nice. Northeast 98th Street. Road signs and everything. It's another one of those forest road gates. Actually, it looks like they actually took the gate off of that one. It's just the posts. Gated driveway. So yeah, there are houses out here. They tend to be pretty big. Well, and it makes sense. Land is cheaper out here. There's definitely some horse properties out here too. We'll see a few of these as we continue on our way. Washboard developing in the road. I do wonder, like, if the people who live out here, like, who takes care of the road? There's a big house. Also the gate, keypad. And I don't know if this road is considered a county road or if it's privately maintained. Like, if there's maybe some sort of HOA for people who live out here. Tolt Highlands Road, that's what we're on. Yeah, that gate is chained open. All the blossoms on the trees. Lovely time of year. right there. Huh. We just hit 10 miles, according to the Garmin watch. So my sort of points of reference are a little messed up, because like I said, I'm so used to going the other way. I know that part of this is the evacuation route if the Tolt Dam should ever fail. It's a earthen dam that holds the Tolt Reservoir back. Remember the pipeline we saw, the pipeline trail I was riding on to begin with, where Seattle gets 1/3 of its daily drinking water. That's a big earthen dam, and my kids both went to the middle school in Carnation, Tolt Middle School, and I think a couple of times a year they had to do basically like a tsunami evacuation drill, where if the dam burst, so like there's actually tsunami warnings in town, so if the dam were to burst, basically everyone is supposed to come up here, because we're a couple hundred feet above the valley floor. Oh, a couple big houses out there. There's a horse property. We've got a barn and horse trailers and such. Pinnacle Farm. Huh. Apple Box Farm. Shift up. Getting pretty close to the big downhill. is a fairly tight hairpin. It is odd to me how different it looks going the reverse direction. Up there, I don't ever remember seeing, and it's just because I was always looking the other way. Huh. Alright, well, bid farewell to gravel and head back to pavement here pretty soon. We'll be back on gravel for the Snoqualmie Valley Trail though. Huh. Looks like they turned that gully there into a motocross track. Saw some jumps and such. Alright. Back to pavement. That's our indication that we're pretty close to town. Turn here. Welcome to Carnation. This is the east side of town. We are headed west right now. Some newer developments built out here. Shifting up. Tolt Dam flood evacuation route. It's odd because I thought it was the other direction. It's pointing me this way. Maybe there's another way up the hill. Of course, the Tolt Dam is behind us, so it would make sense you'd want to move in a direction away from which the water would be coming. Fancy houses with their glass garage doors. So we're going to cross the Snoqualmie Valley Trail to get into the smoothie place. Carnation. Clear, 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 and we're clear. Shift. says we got 13. Clear, clear. Harbor Day. Huh. Harbor Day. Who knew? Cool. There we go, Smoothie Shack, that's our destination. Free trees, huh?
Yeah, a bunch of them, so.
I don't know that I could carry any with me. Yeah, good luck.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Maybe the guy didn't signal. I'll resume later, and we'll turn this off for now too.
20 minutes later.
Okie dokie. Smoothie is done. Had a 24-ounce Gepner with some chocolate whey. That was pretty darn tasty. Oops. Before I put those on, I need to take these off. Bike back on. Get this going again. our visit to historic downtown Carnation. This is the Snoqualmie Valley Trail. This is a rail-to-trail conversion. Washington State, it is my understanding, has the most converted rail lines to trails of any state in the country. My understanding is that something like over 500 miles of converted rail lines are now nicely groomed trails like this. Some are gravel, some are paved. So we are heading north on the Snoqualmie Valley Trail out of Carnation on our way back to Duvall. And flat for a few miles. Yeah, we're clear. So although signs say no motor vehicles, they really do predate e-bikes. They're meant to keep cars and motorcycles off the trail. From Washington state law perspective, if it's got pedals, it's a bike. shift. Clear in front. Okay, good. Yeah, something that just occurred to me is that the couple places where you're on this route where I have to cross roads, the sight lines are actually better going this way than the way I normally go. I like that. Looking behind me to see if I can see Mount Rainier on a really clear day. It just pops huge on the horizon, but there's it's almost I don't know, there's a weird like haze in the air. Valley farmland here. Although, I don't know that I've ever seen that many dandelions before. Goodness. Enjoying the trail today. Lovely spring day. These bridges that tell you that their weight limit is like 6 tons. Clearly you don't need a bridge with a 6-ton weight limit for people walking their dogs and riding their bikes. That's just another indication that this used to be a active rail line. ducks that live in the pond on this side are the smart ones, because on that side it's all hunting. One up on your left. At least 4 people and 2 dogs taking up the entire trail. Let's turn on the bear bell and see if that gets their attention. Otherwise, we'll hit them with a loud bell. Five people and 2 dogs. Thanks. So that's a hunting area to the left. The Snoqualmie River to our left. Now, on the other side of those blackberry bushes. We'll get another look at it up here in a ways. If it's really close to the trail. So close they actually had to close the trail for a while to reinforce it because the water was actually eroding the embankment. dinging is just the bear bell that I turned on. Basically, it's just a gravity operated bell. Turning it off basically just sucks the little hammer up inside so that it can't hit anything. To turn it on, you literally just drop the hammer, and then anytime you hit a bump, it just rings. And it's generally a less aggressive way to let people know that you're coming up behind them, because it's more of a random, gentle ring as opposed to the sort of piercing, like ping, of the other bell that I have. Coming up on your left. Coming up on your left. There we go. There's the Snoqualmie River. And this is where they had to reinforce the embankment. The farm is open, so we gotta beware of cars crossing the trail. Had somebody stop right there on the trail before, completely oblivious to what they were doing. Turn the bear bell off. They call it a bear bell because when you're riding in the woods, you want it to be constantly making noise just to keep the bears away. Up on your left. Another big hole, a couple big holes, jeez. On your left. Roundabout up here, and this can be kind of treacherous. Oh, actually, looks like we're going to time it well. Over here, over there. Miles. Tons. That's a stout bridge. make our turn. Head up. Go on Highway 203 for about 100 to 200 yards, and then get back onto the Tolt Pipeline Trail. I don't even think we're, I think we're basically a 1/10 of a mile south of Duvall right now. Like, I think Safeway is just right over there. This was a multi-million-dollar culvert project down here. They had this road all tore up for like an entire summer. Because allegedly someone saw some salmon in that little dry creek once. This traffic, we're just going to come into the parking lot here and wait for it to clear. So you see Seattle Public Utilities, they're the ones that maintain the Tolt pipeline. Grateful we have a throttle. Get across the road. Up on your left. So there are people that live up here. So I think this, technically this is just like a driveway. And you can see where the Tolt pipeline right away starts. Well, we're back parallel to it. Oh, another horse. There's definitely a lot of horse properties out here. not sure exactly. I mean, obviously the pipeline is underneath us right now, but these look like big. I don't know if there's like vents on both sides here, so I don't know what. There's like maybe a holding container or something. I don't know. All right, a little bit of downhill. And some uphill. It's definitely steeper than the last one. See, no matter which direction I go on this loop, clockwise or counterclockwise, there's always a hill at the end. So it's this long hill. In fact, this isn't even the steepest one. The steepest one is on the other side of this. Or if I come counterclockwise, then the hill at the end is very short, but also just crazy steep. I think it's like maybe like an 18% grade. There, off in the distance, there's the steep part. Hi. I'm squeaking a little bit. Not sure where that's coming from. Huh, might have actually been brakes. Okay, and the graffiti taggers and the brand new sign, a big penis. Isn't that lovely? So this part's not too bad. I'm not sure how well it'll show up in video, but basically we're in a shady spot. Now we're in a sunny spot, and basically once it gets shady again, it starts getting real steep. Fortunately, not that far. Okey-dokey. I should probably have downshifted, but oh well, here we are. Okay, is that another horse rider up there? I think it is. Moving off the trail to the right. so slow, my glasses are fogging. Hi. There's horse properties to the left and right of us. You can see the barn and a couple of horse trailers right there. Another one up here to the left. Okay. So I think this hill crests at the next power pole. Pushy place right here to the right. Looks like it crests right there in that shady spot. Yeah, that's our spot off. Alright, let's shift up. 1, 2. Comes down this hill. Another big barn. Right over there is where we kind of where we started, right? Because I came up this way so that I could cross the road. And yeah, I see bikers out there already. So yeah, we're basically kind of back where we started. About a mile to go from here to get to home. Looking for the trailhead. Yep. Blast our way home. Car coming behind us. Motorcycle, or is that another bike behind us? I'm guessing that's another bike because you can't keep up. I think I'm pedaling probably about 120 RPM right now. Ease it up. Give him a chance to catch up. There it comes. Oh no, that is a motorcycle. Huh. It's a kid wearing a bike helmet on a little dirt bike. Not exactly the safest arrangement. bike helmet I think is rated for about 20 miles an hour. Most bike helmets are only rated for like 15 to 20 miles an hour. He looked like he was wearing a bike helmet and he was probably doing over 30. So not wise. And here we are, back home. And let's see. Hour 45. Oh, hey, Cheeto. Mr. Mosquito. Cheeto Bandito. Alright. Let's just save that. And go on power. Alright, 52.2, not bad. Alright, well, good ride. Cheeto. Oh, Mr. Mosquito. Oh, Cheeto. How's my Cheeto? Alright, and there we go. All she wrote.